Well, excuse me for a second here, but what happened to the music in the menu? Why is it all of a sudden so somber? It used to be so chippy. Oh, could that be a premonition of what's to come?
Lo siento.
A boy with a baseball cap and Unit 4 gone. What happened to Unit 4? I guess there's only one way to find out. I sat in my seat, opposite the bathroom. The office felt empty. Officer Yi-yun was still in the hospital. Lieutenant Kang had been sent to a detention center. I couldn't find out where. And Officer Min-yun. I would never be able to see him again. So I was the only one left in Unit 4. Was it called Unit 4 because there was only 4 people in it? Officer Min-yun had been murdered. This case had been turned over to the Superior Investigation Agency, with Unit 3 assisting. Yesterday, people from Unit 3 had come over and taken everything that belonged to Lieutenant Kang. Fortunately, I had been prepared in advance. I'd made copies of some of Lieutenant Kang's case files and reports. I also kept the red folder with files on Unit 2. The files and reports were mostly about the cases that Unit 4 had solved. Nothing too important in there. Although I did read a lot of familiar words in his reports. My words. I finally understood why he had always told me to write longer reports. Oh, he was copying the homework. He probably had not just copied my reports. It looked like he had also done the same to reports written by Officer Min-yun and Officer Yi-yun. I shook my head, put them away and opened the red folder. After they had taken Lieutenant Kang into custody, I had read everything in the folder multiple times. I had learned that Lieutenant Kang had been the only surviving member of the old Unit 2. The files in the folder had records of the details of Operation White Bay, which had been initiated by the previous police mayor. They also included every mission that Unit 2 had been involved with. Every mission had been a success except the last one, codenamed W620. It was during that mission that almost the entire unit had been taken out. Lieutenant Kang must have been reading these files as a memorial to his former colleagues. I could still remember him crying when I saw him looking at the documents. I could also remember Officer Min-yun telling me awkward military jokes while he was reading an encyclopedia of firearms. It almost felt like everything had only happened just yesterday. I had fought so hard to be a proud member of Unit 4. I thought I would have a chance to spar with Lieutenant Kang every once in a while. I thought I would be listening to Officer Min-yun's war stories, telling me of events that had happened a long time ago on some distant islands. I thought that one day I would be fighting side by side with the 3 of them, all in the name of justice. It had never occurred to me that that day would never come. It had been 3 days since Officer Min-yun was murdered. I heard that they had found an unregistered Glock 43 in Lieutenant Kang's home. They had also found his fingerprints on the gun, and the barrel matched with the rifling twist patterns they had found on the bullet inside Officer Min-yun's body. The time of death had been determined to be noon of the day that we found his body. It happened to be the time when we had finished taking a drug dealer's statements, and Lieutenant Kang had just left the station a little while earlier. However, Lieutenant Kang had offered no alibi for himself. How could Lieutenant Kang have possibly done something like this? There must have been something he couldn't reveal. If only I could find out where he had been during that time. So far, that was all of the information that I had learned about the case. I tried seeking out Lieutenant Kim multiple times, expressing my wish to help out as much as I could with the case. What is wrong with my reading today? Jesus. Although I knew that being a member of Lieutenant Kang's unit as well as a teammate of Officer Min Yun, I didn't have any right to be included. But as long as I could help Lieutenant Kang, I was willing to do anything, no matter what. However, Lieutenant Kim had only handed me all of the inconsequential chores of Unit 3. He wouldn't even tell me where Lieutenant Kang was being held. I was afraid that as far as they were concerned, still allowing me to come to the station was already special treatment for me. I couldn't wait any longer. I had made a decision. I was typing on the keyboard while peeking at the makeup mirror in Officer Yi Yun's desk. I saw through the mirror that someone from Unit 3 had just entered a 4-digit passcode to open their safe. In the Criminal Investigation Division, every unit had their own safe to temporarily keep classified documents. As Lieutenant Kang's case was still under investigation, there must be relevant documents inside Unit 3's safe. Stealing classified documents would be something that was way beyond rule breaking. If I got caught, I didn't even know what kind of punishment would be waiting for me. But as soon as I remembered Officer Min Yun's death and Lieutenant Kang being framed, I knew it was something that I had to do. This would be my justice. 7 p.m., the last person in Unit 3's office wing, Lieutenant Kim, had finally left. I stayed in my seat and kept typing on my keyboard for another 5 minutes. I didn't stop until I made sure the entire floor had no other people, and then I walked over to the safe of Unit 3. There was a basket of candies on top of the safe. I opened the door. There was nothing inside. There was nothing in the safe. Lieutenant Kim had opened the safe earlier, before he left. Maybe he had taken everything inside with him. I went back to my seat, defeated. What else could I do to help Lieutenant Kang? Who else could help me now? Alright, I should go and see Officer Yi Yun. I hurried to the hospital, but I didn't get to see her. A nurse told me that she had checked out and left the hospital earlier that day, but I didn't have a phone number to contact her. Damn it! Was there nothing else I could do? Please, Buddha, please guide me. What should I do? As if I know. Suku had an exclusive and secretive business app for himself. Returning guests and people who had a referral would contact him directly on the app instead of texting some ridiculous Morse code to the number on his card. He was good. Even if the target had somehow learned that Suku was after them, they would never be able to guess how they would be eliminated, nor when or where it would happen. He was like a magician. Business was good, but he always referred most of the jobs to his associates. He rarely got his own hands dirty, and he never asked for a cut of the proceedings. He told me that he wasn't doing this for the money, but for information. Occasionally, he would bring up some stories from the days when he had been working for Ray. A lot of them reminded me of my old days. He'd eventually made too many enemies as well and had struggled for a while after leaving Ray. Once he was already too deep into the assassin for pay business, he realized that he had to give it his all to survive. He had also learned that information is more important than your kill count. Thanks to his connections, I was able to learn the identities of the people who had been after me. They were exactly who I had thought they would be. Yet, it was practically pointless at this point. Right now, my head was worth quite a fortune. If I ever showed up on the street without a disguise, someone would be gunning for me in no time. I had to move to a new place every 3 months. All of the locations were scouted in advance for me by Zuko. He was the only one who always knew where I lived. Currently, my hiding place was at this thing. Funny enough, it was only 20 meters away from this other thing, the home base of the Black Dragon gang. Once I had even spotted Ray from the window. I heard that he had become the new big boss of the gang. Zuko not only helped with covering my tracks, he would also take care of me when something else went wrong, like today. I was lying in my bed with bandages on my legs and an ice bag on my head. Zuko put a bowl of hot porridge on the nightstand. I could smell a hint of overcooked rice. Then he sank into the couch and began to peruse the 3-month-old adult magazine that he had brought over. 4 days ago, he gave me 3 big envelopes. He wasn't the kind of person who would lecture me about justice, but he had his moral preferences, and he would put his preferred target on top of the pile. The first target was a greedy boss who had been stiffing his workers for 3 years. The second target was a paralyzed rich man who had been depending on his children. The third target was the boss of the newest gang recently established in the Bay Road area. I picked the last one, and I'd gotten into an epic battle, which had led to this. Don't get me wrong, it was never some kind of vigilante assassin who had the moral high ground either. I had no right to be, nor did I want to. I was merely someone who had no family, no friends, and no reason to live. And being on the edge of life and death was the only thing that could still make me feel alive. I tasted the porridge and fell asleep again. Ring, ring. I seemed to have heard the doorbell ringing. And then I heard the door open, then close. It seemed to be a package delivery. Package? Who would send me a package? I sprinted from my bed and yelled out Zuko's name. There was no response. I walked to the door of my arsenal. Every time I moved, I would turn the smallest room into a mini arsenal, enhancing it with a security door with a key padlock. Since I was moving in a few days, I had already packed all of my weapons and ammo. There was supposed to be nothing inside the room, but I saw an open delivery box just outside the security door. I entered the passcode. I didn't notice that there was someone behind me. Someone grabbed my neck from behind and choked me. I raised my left hand and stabbed my finger towards the throat of my attacker. He did a backflip and got away from me, landing precisely on the window ledge. What the is it Spider-Man? His lowered baseball cap covered most of his face, so I could only tell that it was a slim, fit young man. You are indeed as good as they say. No matter, my mission is done anyway. You never. See you never. The weird-sounding boy left me with his final word, jumped off the ledge, and disappeared. I had more important matters at hand than going after him. I went back to the security door. It didn't open, even though I had entered the passcode. The only explanation was that Zuko had locked the door from the inside. He must still be in there. Why would he do that? Kaboom! An enormous force blew the door off its hinges, twisted it, and tore it into a million burning pieces that were flying towards me. Zuko was flying in the air along with all of the debris. His neck was bent at an inconceivable angle due to the explosion. When I finally woke up in the ICU, I realized that my left arm and both my legs were gone. I knew that I probably didn't have much time left, yet the doctor still bluntly told me the other piece of news. The man that had been found at the scene with me was already dead when the ambulance arrived. Strangely enough, when the doctor said I'm sorry for your loss, I wasn't really feeling too much loss. Okay, so passcode from here, over there, and something. We can fix this fast. Look, with the dad, and then with the dad, and then... do we want to put someone behind this guy? I don't know, let's try it. I felt a big hand patting my back. Hey kid, what are you doing over here? I'd heard the footsteps coming towards me, so I stood straight in front of the safe. I pretended that I had been trying to take some candy from the basket. You have given me too much work, so I want to take some candy and relax a little bit. Sure, how about we go take a bath? It should be even more relaxing. It was already after hours. The spa in the station was quite crowded. Lieutenant Kim was soon chatting and laughing with the other people that were hanging around. I stayed in a corner of the spa and didn't join the others. I remembered the time when I was in the spa with Lieutenant Kang. That was a cutscene. Maybe it was because of the steam from the spa, but I felt my eyes watering up. Complete the profile of Alicia, the professional. Achievement unlocked. No, we're doing this guy. We're not doing Alicia. What the... Get away from there, there's a bomb. Zuko screamed and ran towards me. He reached his hand out, trying to pull me away from the door that I had just opened. But I caught a glimpse of a box on the floor with an empty ice. And then boom! The box morphed into an engulfing flame and swallowed me without the door in its way. Whoops. So what if you notice someone behind you? And then you opened the door and there was nothing inside. That will fix it. The bomb was never in there to begin with. It's fine. The door didn't open as I had hoped. That was strange. Had I misremembered the passcode? No, not possible. I had recorded the passcode yesterday. I'd even checked twice today when someone else was opening the safe. The last person to use the safe was Lieutenant Kim. Had he noticed my plan and changed the passcode? I went back to my seat. Just with the Well, we're gonna take a drink while we read all of this. Damn it, there was nothing else to food and guidance and whatnot. And this is still bad. Well, whoops. Wait, this is new. Too bad I have to kill you today. The weird-sounding man wielded 2 knives and lunged at me. I picked up a fruit knife from the table and tried to block him. We were quite even at first. Then somewhere on the street I heard what sounded like an explosion. My eyes involuntarily drifted to the window. I suddenly had a bad feeling. My split-second distraction had given my opponent a chance. How is this not also a bad ending? Well, there's your answer, it was. So, you did this, and then you did that, and then that. Maybe this? There was a stack of files in the safe. I quickly flipped through them. They were exactly what I had been looking for. But before I could find out where the lieutenant was being held, I heard somebody walking in my direction. I quietly closed the safe, hid the files under my jacket, and snuck into the bathroom. In the men's bathroom, there was a stall that had a window to the outside. Huh. It wasn't too big, but it was big enough for an adult like me to climb out. And the back door of the station was not far away from the outside of the window. I opened the door to the stall and stepped on the toilet lid when I heard a deafening scream. Is it Sir Spotty? I let out a scream myself and fell to the floor. The bathroom door opened. The person who had just come in was no other than Lieutenant Kim. For a moment, I even suspected that he had seen through my plan to steal the files the whole time. Kim pulled me up from the floor and took the files away from me. Then he said in a lowered voice, "For the sake of us having worked together for a while, I won't tell anyone about what happened today." I thought Kim would be saying this in an accusatory tone. But when I looked up at his face, I realized that he was actually smiling. Now, why would he be smiling? I couldn't figure out what he was thinking. All I could feel was a chill down my spine. Zuko grabbed me from behind and dragged me away from the door. Boom! An enormous force blew the door off its hinges, twisted it, and tore it into a million burning pieces that were flying towards us. Zuko blocked most of the debris for me. His body had become almost unrecognizable. He was holding my hand so tight when he died. Zuko was gone. There was no funeral. A couple of his body handlers. Complete 75% of the dictionary. Oh, well, there we go. The body handlers. Here you go. With the dism. And they might knock on the wrong door sometimes. Ah. During the night of the full moon, a few days later, I could no longer suppress it. I turned into a werewolf. My secret was out. I opened my fist and examined my palm under the moonlight. Zuko had given me one last small present. He had been hiding it in his hand before stuffing it into mine when he died. It was a small metal part that he had taken off of the baseball boy's bombs. That was a sentence. Oh! Well, we actually got it with her. Okay. So, there we go. He opened the door and then entered the passcode. Doesn't make sense, but he did it. But before I even tried to enter a passcode, the door to the safe opened by itself. Open sesame. There was nothing but a note inside. It read, "Mind your own freaking business." Went back to my seat. But wait, I need to... How is this? How can I get an S rank with Alice or Alicia when you with the bad? Do I need to decide? Do I need to choose? Wait. Okay. No. Maybe there are two S ranks. Hang on. Is there? There could be. There could be. Wait, that one is grayed out. Does that mean I can't get that yet? I think that means I can't get it yet. Oh, that's not good. No. We can do this. No. Wait. This. No. Wait. No. Hang on. I'm fixing it. We'll find it. Hang on. No. Okay. So you enter the passcode and then you open the door. No. Hang on. There was nothing inside and then you opened the door. See? There we go. Well, how is this? This is not gonna be better. Yeah, whoops. Yeah, that's not good. No. I'm fixing it. No. No. Hang on. This. There we go. Fixed it. Wait, that doesn't fix it for her, only for him. Whoops. With the peeking of the mirror and the such, I immediately looked away in a panic, lowered my head and continued writing in the non-existent report. Kim walked past me and into the bathroom. Well, why is everything just bad with you? What if you just opened the door? Why is that bad? Okay, what if you just enter the passcode? What if you just didn't notice that there was someone behind you? Well, that changes it for her. This makes no sense. Zuko wasn't in the arsenal, nor was he in the apartment. Somewhere on the street, I heard what sounded like an explosion. I ran downstairs and heard people screaming and crying in agony, like yap, yap, yap. There were injured people everywhere I looked. The source of all the suffering was a small square that had just been wiped out. The food carts that sold beef balls were all gone. This gotta be a bad ending too, if you can't have the beef balls. A dark radial scorch mark was left on the concrete in the middle of the square. But in the center of the darkness, there was nothing. There was nothing left. Okay, but what if? So, what if you just opened the door? Whoa, what is my mouse doing? No. What if you just then... There was nothing inside? No. Okay. No. Okay. Hang on. Yeah, I'm fixing it. I promise. No, come on. Will you stop with your shenanigans and just give me the thing? Listen. I'm trying to fix it, but you're making it very difficult for me. Okay. No. No. I think I can get this. Well, we got an S rank with her, so whoop-de-doo. Well. Oh, we got a new person. Wait, did we get a new person in the last one, or did I just completely miss it? Let's see here. Cell 28, life unknown. Well, I guess it's gonna remain unknown for a little bit longer, because I'm gonna leave this one here. I know this is a short one, but yeah, I feel like leaving it here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right, I'm out.